It is great to see you all in person. I'm Richard Fong, Chair of the Board of Trustees of Westridge School. And Jill and I have two girls who were lifers, Angela, class of 2016, and Ashley, class of 2019. Welcome to you all. Celebrate Elizabeth McGregor's 13 years of head of school. I'd like to first acknowledge my fellow trustees, both past and present. If I could ask you all to stand up. Don't be shy. This group has done a lot for us. And while I don't want to single anybody out, I will. It all started with this gentleman in front of me, David McGrublian, who was the head of the search committee that found Liz. So, David, thank you for your wise decision. I like to think that our board did a pretty good job as well. Speaking of which, Andrea Kassar is here with her husband, Tim. And equally as important as the board, especially for the experience of our students, is the Westridge Parent Association. We have a number of presidents with us. Please stand to be acknowledged. This dinner was the product of a lot of hard work, a lot of people to thank, but in particular, I want to acknowledge a few people. First of all, fellow trustee and alumna Sigrid Burton and her husband Max. Our friends Sharon Kwan and Andy Chen. Their daughter, graduating senior Charisma, is also with us. And my partner in crime, Mark Harris and Tiffany Harris. The Harrises are joining us in hosting tonight's event. Mark cannot be here. He sends his regrets. He's been working in the last year trying to go after some bad people. Before I talk about Liz, there's a very special person I want to recognize. You know what they say, behind every successful head is a great assistant, and that is Julie Earhart. Julie has been with Liz through thick and thin. She is indispensable to our school, to the board, and she always goes above and beyond. When I announced Liz's retirement in 2019, I highlighted a number of accomplishments, and some of which bear repeating. On campus, we have the addition of Merwin House, the Science and Math Building. We've expanded our academic programs, particularly in STEM, with STEAMworks Studio, and most recently with the Computer Science and Engineering Department. Yes. We've upgraded theater, college counseling, is now the envy of our peer schools. Our endowment has tripled as of now, exceeding $40 million. And Diana promises to double it again in 3 years. Before it became popular to do so, we self-reflected, embraced, and pushed forward with diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. Liz would be the first to say this is all a team effort, and she's right. After all, Westridge starts with a we. But no doubt, you pushed us to strive to rise, and I would say we have risen. In my 4 years as chair, it's equally baffling to my family. I've gotten to see Liz work behind the scenes, and there are two things that are particularly impressionable. First is that she has the back of everyone who is good for Westridge, even if sometimes the support is not reciprocated. That takes selflessness, integrity. She does everything in the best interest of the school. The second is, during this racial unrest in the summer of 2020, Westridge, like many other independent schools, had its own reckoning. We received a lot of comments, feedback. Some of them were hard to read. And little known that Liz reached out to everyone who commented and had meetings with many. She listened, she learned, she shared some of the things we were doing. And that takes compassion, humility. I was trying to find a quote to encapsulate all this, British, of course, and came up with the Duke of Oxford from The King's Man. Thank God Dr. Holland's not here. He said, "Reputation is what people think of you. Character is what you are." Oh, Liz, your reputation is sterling, your character unimpeachable, and Westridge is better for it. So, toast to Liz. Rather than hear me ramble on, I've got a couple of juniors, Kavya and Kitnya, who are going to come and talk about their experience working with Liz. Girls, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kavya, and I'm a junior at Westridge. Thank you all so much for having me to speak today. It's an honor to be here to celebrate you, Ms. McGregor. When I first started at Westridge, before I had met you, I was very intimidated by the title head of school. However, as I got to know Ms. McGregor, she became an incredible role model and friend to me. Over the past 2 years, I have worked with Ms. McGregor closely on the Student Action Council, a group created to help foster conversation between students and administration, particularly focused on DEIJ this year. When I became the head of the Student Action Council, Ms. McGregor helped me develop the confidence to be a successful leader, and together we have been working towards making Westridge a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive place. I have been in awe of Ms. McGregor's commitment to creating change. She is the type of person who isn't afraid of a challenge and never gives up until a problem is solved. I have witnessed firsthand the incredible thought, time, and hard work Ms. McGregor has put into improving the Westridge community, and we couldn't be luckier to have her. I remember many mornings I would stop by the Commons to grab breakfast, and I would always run into Ms. McGregor. She would greet me with a smile and ask me how I was doing. Her act of taking time to talk with me, despite her very hectic schedule, will always be so meaningful for me. I will always remember Miss McGregor for her positive energy and attitude. She radiates joy and happiness and brings it everywhere with her on campus. The time she takes to get to know every student on a personal level is incredible, and her commitment to making Westridge a positive place is so inspiring. Miss McGregor, I want to thank you for believing in me, helping me become the leader I am, and for helping me find confidence in myself. On behalf of the rest of the Westridge community, thank you so much for being an inspiration to us all. I hope that you will now have time to explore the world, discover new passions, and continue to have an impact on your community, which I don't doubt you will. But most of all, I hope you take time for yourself. You deserve it. Congratulations on your retirement.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being present as we celebrate this special night and Mrs. McGregor. My name is Nitya Chavla, and I'm a current junior. I began attending Westridge in the 6th grade and first met Mrs. McGregor as a student while eating lunch alone. I had a hard time making friends and connecting with my new classmates, and Mrs. McGregor noticed this while walking past Ranney Court one day, where I sat alone drawing. She walked up to me and asked inquisitively, and she sat down, and instead of introducing herself as the head of school, she simply asked, "What is that you're drawing?" Believe it or not, that was the first time since the beginning of the school year that someone had taken interest in me. And for the first time, I felt seen, acknowledged, valued. Since that simple encounter, I began waving hello and sharing my drawings with Mrs. McGregor every day. Her interest in getting to know me gave me the courage to share my authentic self with my classmates and to never give up hope when I was not accepted socially. She gave me the courage to speak at the middle school graduation as my class president, and she reminded me during some of the hardest times of my life that my passion should drive me forward, even when the world tells me my dreams are unrealistic. She believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Recently, I have had the honor of working alongside Mrs. McGregor as part of the Student Action Council to promote diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice, both within and outside of our campus. As the head of school, Mrs. McGregor could choose to spend her time attending to pressing matters in her office, but her commitment to representing each student's voice is the greatest indicator of the importance placed on her DEIJ efforts. Mrs. McGregor, you inspire me to lead a life that is true to me. You have taught me that there is nothing more important than authenticity, and I want to thank you for supporting me always. Through your work in DEIJ or even daily connections with students, you truly have shaped Westridge into what it is today. Thank you for all that you do, Mrs. McGregor, and from all the students at Westridge, we hope you enjoy your well-deserved retirement. We will miss you, and congratulations again.
Are we doing a video now?
Thank you, Miss McGregor.
Thank you, Mrs. McGregor.
Thank you, Ms. McGregor.
Thank you, Miss McGregor. Thank you, Mrs. McGregor. Thank you, Miss McGregor.
Thank you, Mrs. McGregor.
Thank you, Miss McGregor.
There is a saying at our school, as Westridge changes girls, so girls change Westridge. Miss McGregor believes deeply in this message. As we reflect on her tenure, it is clear that she has forever changed Westridge and made her mark on the hearts and minds of all of us. She has encouraged us to be our best, bold selves and to live lives of integrity, respect, responsibility, and inclusion.
I will always remember Liz by the words, "Be your best bold selves."
That was probably one of her first, taglines when she first got here.
was for them to be their best bold selves.
A lot of our success going forward, I think we're going to owe to Liz. What she has accomplished here, I think is going to benefit Westridge for generations to come.
I thought that she was kind of like a gardener. If you're not a good gardener, the trees will like grow old and wither and won't do as well. But with Mrs. McGregor, she watered the trees and let them grow at their own speeds according to their own characteristics and personalities.
I don't think I can improve on the analogy of the gardener because it's such a beautiful, we're really going to miss Liz when she's gone, and she has really encouraged this garden of the Westridge community to grow. One of her major imprints on the school has been her focus on the emotional and psychological well-being of the students, which is certainly an issue that was never addressed when Susanna and I were students here.
Miss McGregor is someone who doesn't just talk, she does.
She just always fostered that sense of you belong here.
Liz has really prepared Westridge to tackle the issues about diversity. She has challenged and emboldened all of us to realize that we have to be forward-thinking and prepare our girls and this school for a different future.
I've seen her be really committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think it's incredible how much time and effort she puts into it. It's been challenging, and I really admire that about her.
Liz, with her vision, was already pushing for that well ahead of its time.
She wants diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice to be her legacy. She has been a perfect leader in a period of time that we could not have anticipated, and she's been amazing.
I would probably describe Miss McGregor as fun and accepting.
Westridge is even more tight-knit than it ever has been. Due to Liz's leadership. She knows how to relate to people as individuals. She also understands the needs of various communities within Westridge. She knows how to synthesize it all together so everybody feels part of the whole. So I think she's just a remarkable community builder, and I think Westridge will be so much stronger for it going forward.
For me, Miss McGregor made Westridge very welcoming.
I would describe Mrs. McGregor as compassionate and loving.
Miss McGregor made Westridge a better place.
She's just been such a steadfast role model for me and just really inspirational.
She just had her finger on the pulse. And I often said to myself, I don't know how she does it all. Her authenticity lends her to do all of that. I think her true caring about what she does lends herself to all of that. So she will be missed. She will be missed.
Now I'm gonna cry. That's the beauty of Liz. That's the beauty of Westridge. And that's why Liz embodies Westridge, because you can be strong, powerful, strategic, smart, firm, but you can also be authentic and warm and loving.
She leaves us with a sense of mission and really a better understanding of what we mean when we want our girls to live lives of impact. Conviction, courage, and compassion. That's what Liz is.
My wish for Mrs. McGregor is that she enjoys her retirement knowing that she's left her mark deep on campus and on generations upon generations of students in so very many ways, but truly especially in helping make sure that every student feels they belong.
Thank you, Mrs. McGregor. Thank you, Miss McGregor. Thank you, Miss McGregor.
Liz, thank you so much. It has been an absolutely amazing run. You have done so much for the school, so much for the community. I wish you all the best in your new adventures.
Love you.
Love you, girl.
I wish that in retirement, Miss McGregor is really happy and does a lot of fun things that she enjoys.
I don't know. I feel like she could run an ice cream shop, honestly.
We're gonna miss you!
Thank you for being a great role model to follow and encouraging us to do things that we might have thought that we couldn't have.
Thank you, Mrs. McGregor.
Well, my own retirement's going to be an absolute disappointment. We're going to take a break. Please enjoy your dinner, and we'll be back with other remarks, including some from Liz's children.
So Liz is worried that as soon as people are well fed, perhaps they'll go up to the third floor to the bar. So, did everyone enjoy dinner? Great. I have the unfortunate privilege of following Richard Fung. So when Tiffany's husband and my friend Mark Harris decided to save democracy, he stepped aside as board chair, and Richard graciously agreed to join us for another year. You'll notice, by the way, this is why Richard's so good. He didn't have any notes. I'm forced to bring notes. In fact, Diana O'Leary, who is really the force behind this event, she did the classic, well, why don't you send me your notes so I can print them for you, just in case you forget them, which really meant, please send me your notes so I can read them and make sure you don't say anything inappropriate. So good evening. My job is not to say anything inappropriate. My name is Don Morgan. Thank you. You may rescind that later. I have the good fortune of knowing Liz in a number of different capacities. So I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. I am the chair of the Advancement Committee, parent of I'm proud parent of a graduating senior, Molly Morgan, who, thank you. She's off to Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland in the fall. She assures me that is not to get to another continent away from me. And perhaps my favorite connection to Liz is as an occasional Scotch drinking partner. So I'll let you in on a little secret. If you really want to know Liz McGregor, you should drink a little bit of Macallan's with her. It's important tonight, given the people who are here, to maybe start by acknowledging the Advancement Committee of the board. A number of you are here. So this committee, this is my favorite committee. I'm biased, but I love the Advancement Committee because we have the privilege of inviting people to connect the amazing resources they have with our incredible mission and to really advance the future of the school. And so I want to invite the Advancement Committee to raise your hands, or thank you, Elizabeth, thank you. So this committee, our committee, supported this occasion on hyperdrive, following receipt of a post-COVID approval to go for it. You can imagine what this conversation looked like a year ago when we thought, can we do this or not in our COVID world? But this group, in a mad sprint, put on an amazing event. And I, in particular, want to recognize Brooke Garlock, who is an amazing alumna, an emerita board member, and a parent of an alumna, right? So I don't think Brooke put her phone down from the day she heard the date for this event to this evening, and is certainly to be credited for so much of our success tonight. Thank you, Brooke. We also definitely should thank a couple Westridge folks who worked so hard to make this evening very successful. So in particular, many of you are here, and I know Richard gracefully introduced many of you, but Kim Kirscher, Crystal Lorenz, Diana O'Leary, these things don't happen without a lot of sleepless nights, and frequently there are a number of people behind the scenes making this happen, and they certainly did so. Now, let's make our most important thank you of the evening. All of us are here to thank Liz for her transformational contributions to the Westridge community and the young women who go into the world each year inspired to live lives of purpose as a result of her leadership. Liz has always viewed her work as a calling, and I know she realizes that her contribution to changing the world is the thousands of brilliant women who are out there navigating the globe with a firm belief that the world needs more Westridge women. May I have the Westridge alumni raise their hands this evening? So if you spend 30 seconds with any of these women, you know that the world most certainly does need more women like these. Liz has instilled that in their hearts, in our students' hearts, this idea of the world needing more Westridge women by creating a community of belonging that doesn't exist anywhere else, particularly at an all-girls school. And I'm watching my daughter and her fellow seniors. Where's Charisma? She just left. Okay, perfect. Good, then I can say things and she can't disagree with me. I'm watching my daughter Molly and her fellow seniors celebrating each other with such great excitement and the success as they get into colleges. And there's no jealousy, there's no sort of resentment towards some kids getting in and not others. Just pure joy for each other. And that filters through to the grades in such a unique way at Westridge. And while I know that's always been a hallmark of our community, I think Liz has really strengthened that spirit since the first day she set foot on campus. Now, no school is without challenges, and Richard mentioned this earlier. I mean, when our school experienced, in recent years, a sense that our sense of belonging was possibly being challenged, Liz led us with honest conversations characterized by listening and a desire to adapt as we needed to embrace a changing world while respecting different experiences with Westridge students and alumni and the fact that it wasn't the same for all folks. And her commitment to belonging has embedded diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice into our fabric as a school. Not because it looks good on a brochure like we've seen in a lot of corporate and educational settings, but because it's essential for our students to embrace a world of collective impact where we don't all look alike and don't always agree. And it's hard to imagine a more important skill for these young women to master prior to receiving a Westridge diploma than just that. And for that, we thank you, Liz. Now, tonight is about thanking Liz, but it's also about celebrating the establishment of an endowment to not only honor Liz, but also to endow our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. And so it will further enmesh our commitment to the future of the school and impact the lives of young women for generations to come. And we're pleased to announce that as of this minute, anyway, as of tonight, we have raised $1 million to endow. An endowment fund to permanently endow our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. This is not something we're going to spend money on for a couple of years and then get turned on to something else. This is a commitment we have deeply embedded in our community. And Liz's commitment to belonging will forever impact the young women at Westridge for generations to come. And Liz, I hope you recognize that this important announcement is not just for its endorsement to our commitment to DEIJ, but also a sincere thank you to you and a concrete recognition that you have changed all of our lives. So this is where my job as a fundraiser comes in. And we're not done yet. Is that good, Diana? Good. Okay. Many of you have generously supported this first phase of the fund, and we are so grateful to you, and we thank you for seeding the beginning stages of this incredible endeavor. And for those of you who've yet to join the crowd, come on in, the water's warm. We will continue to build this incredible endowment fund as we invite many of you and your friends, and we hope you will do so as well, to play a meaningful role in the perpetual growth of the McGregor Fund and our commitment to DEIJ. So this is not the last you will hear of this fund. So we plan to celebrate with Liz at least one more time. I suspect it'll be even more than that. But mark your calendars, Sunday, May 22nd. There will be a garden party on campus where students and parents and faculty and staff can come together for a fun day to celebrate with the entire community. Perhaps we will be announcing the growth of our endowment to $2 million by then, right? Or maybe by the end of this evening tonight, you can come find me. I'm at table 10. Finally, before we bring Liz up to say a few words, which is really the only reason you came this evening, I'd like to introduce her family who are with her this evening. So first of all, my buddy Ian McGregor, her husband, is here. He's a wonderfully supportive husband. I'm pretty sure he cheats at golf, but that's only because he always beats me. I said you're here, not this year. Sorry, thank you. I appreciate that, Peanut Gallery. Her brother, David Franklo, is here. David? And two of Liz's three children are here, and I want to invite you to join me on stage. So Lindsay and James are going to come share a few words. Now, we're all well behaved, but they get to decide just how much they want to share with you about Liz before she was head of school. So thank you again. Enjoy your evening. Please, all of you.
Thank you for having us here today. By the sound effects earlier, it sounds like you really wanted us to divulge a few secrets. So a little bit about my mom. I remember sitting on the couch in our house studying for a standardized test, going through vocabulary flashcards, and just groaning and saying, who on earth knows these words? And my mom from the kitchen saying, I do. They're great words. What do you mean? And so I said, okay, let's prove it, and start to quiz my mom. She gets every single one of them right. Not because she's ever studied for any standardized test, but simply because she loves to read. And also because she gets slightly miffed if she doesn't get any vocab quiz, Monopoly game, or croquet match right. So, given her love of big words, or as I believe she might say, her sesquipedalian nature, we thought we'd share a few words tonight that describe our mom.
All right, so the first word is equanimous, which means calm and composed. So mom keeps her composure, which is a very highly valued quality in British people, if you haven't noticed. I remember when we would have school parades and she'd wave like the Queen of England. perish the thought that someone shows too much emotion. Her steadfast leadership at Westridge, steering the ship through clear or choppy waters, has never been more significant than recently. She's kept the ship steaming towards its goals during an unprecedented time. Keep calm and carry on.
Next word, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So I was sitting in the downtown passport office as a kid, waiting to get a passport, and my mom had brought her homework, as usual. She was writing an essay for somebody who was looking to understand what she represented as she thought about her next job. And as she wrote about her career and what she wanted to achieve, she was taking far too long and being far too humble. So I took over her notepad and wrote it for her. And we still have a copy of this today. My version of her job application said, "Hello, my name is Mary Poppins, and I would love to lead your school. I will charm everyone with my English accent while subtly destroying everything that I think is wrong and running everything my way, which is, of course, the best." She always used a spoonful of sugar and a very effective British accent while leading her team to strive for nothing less than excellence.
Mom is not a snollygoster. So this is an individual who does things for their own personal advancement rather than following their own principles. So just to be clear, this is not what you are. As you know, my mom is incredibly principled. Mom always does the right thing, always takes the high road. If there's ever someone to decline special treatment to a school administrator's son, it's my mom. If I left my textbook in the classroom after school, that door was not going to get opened. And it's true that I did end up in the principal's office because my mom told on me.
She has not an ounce of flossinausi nihilipilification, which is the habit of estimating something as worthless. My mom was always the one to find the person sitting at the side of the room by themselves and sit down with them, learn more, and start to make them feel welcome. She was the first to find value in each and every person. She's always passionately wanted to be an educator, not only because she loves the work, but because she deeply believes in the power of education, particularly girls' education, to unlock the potential in everyone.
So the next word is assiduous, which means showing great care and effort. We were always the first ones at school and the last to leave. Lindsay would spend her time after school reading and doing homework, while I'd spend the time investigating where the drain pipe behind the recess yard went. We saw a mom give her all in every role that she had. We were there, whether lesson plans for her lower school students, developing bus routes, or leading a distinguished all-girls school to even higher heights, she worked hard.
So for those of you with hippopotamostrosis quipididaliophobia, which is a fear of long words, or for those of you who are wishing we were more posiliquent, which means brief, you'll be pleased to know that we're almost at our end. Mom, you taught me that learning could be joyous. You gave me the strength to do the opposite of what everyone else was doing. You made it okay to be determined and relentless in the pursuit of excellence. And over the years, you've even gotten better at occasionally taking time off to take a break.
So I'm sure our mom has noticed that we probably use several of these words incorrectly. And I'm sure we'll receive our grades once we return home. But I know that to my mom, all this work, all this effort, all her perfectly written emails have been worth it. She demonstrates that with integrity, compassion, drive, and a commitment to service, that her measure of success is the success of her colleagues, the institution, and most importantly, her students, granting them the tools for lifelong achievement, the world's future leaders. Whomever our mom has worked for has been fortunate to have her, and now our family is fortunate to have more time with her. Thank you to the advancement team, the Westridge community, and the board for putting this all together. It's a real honor. It's really special for us to be here and to share all of this, so thank you very much. The Elizabeth J. McGregor Endowment Fund is a great honor, and I could think of nothing more fitting. So a toast to the Queen, Mom. So to Mom, to Mrs. McGregor, thank you for all that you do.
So which words shall I use? Thank you. I'm here with a tissue in hand, and in one hand and notes in the other, because I don't think I can get through this without either. What a wonderful evening. What a wonderful family. What a wonderful board. What a wonderful, wonderful place Westridge is. So thank you. I'm going to repeat what you've heard, I think, to quite a great extent this evening, but I want you to know this is really, really from my heart. Hence the notes, because I think I'd go astray. I am so thrilled and honored to be here with you this evening. And I'd like to start by acknowledging the tremendous generosity of Richard and Jill Fung and Mark and Tiffany Harris, who've sponsored this glorious celebration. And I'd like you to know that I feel as though I'm in a warm embrace, an embrace of family, my professional family and my personal family, and that I find great pleasure to be sharing this evening with you. I couldn't believe that this would be an evening that I would be honored. I so like to honor other people, but I have been encouraged to just embrace this evening, and I embrace all of you, because this is a glorious moment for me, for my family, for the school. We've done so much together. So here with me this evening, as you have found out, are the people who first drew me to Westridge, including David McGrublian, who chaired the search committee when I was hired and who was my first board chair. Thank you, David. It's all your fault. And Richard Fung, my current board chair. Former and current trustees, leading lights past and present of the Westridge Parent Association. We've done so much together. Thank you. Esteemed colleagues, my Westridge leadership team, Julie Earhart, my executive assistant, an incredible team of people who only put Westridge first. We also have a number of teachers here this evening. Really, the salt of the earth, thank you for all that you do. And our incoming head of school, how delighted am I to welcome Andrea to Westridge. As I've often said, Westridge is so much of my life. I feel as though I'm handing over my cherished baby to someone who's really going to take care of it. And I'm so thrilled that it's you, Andrea. Thank you, thank you. We have many current parents here, as you know, and very significantly former students, our alumni, and some of our accomplished and impressive current students. I hope you heard 4 of our students playing their violins and cellos when you walked in this evening, to Kavya and to Nitya and to Charisma and all of the students who appeared on the video. That's why I do what I do. What could be better than that? And then there are the members of my own family who've supported me throughout my professional career and indeed most of my life. My dear husband, Ian. Karen, our oldest daughter, who is here in spirit. She lives in South Africa with her family, but also our other 2 children, as you've met this evening. Lindsay, who's here from Manhattan, James, who's here from Boise, and then my brother, who flew in to be with us from Seattle. Thank you so much. I so remember those word quizzes. I love words. I always love words. I always remember being about 3 or 4 and thinking, pamplemousse. That's the French word for grapefruit. Isn't that beautiful? Lapis lazuli. Where are you, Juanita? That beautiful blue color. Isn't that special? I just love words. I'm the kind of kid who went home and looked at the dictionary every night to think, oh, I don't know that word. Let me find it out. I find that fascinating. And through words, of course, you get to understand other cultures, other languages, other ways that people think. Language is a tool for thought. It's an incredible thing to be able to read and explore the world and then go out and enjoy it. You, all of you, have been a part of my everyday experience that has been Westridge for almost 13 years. How blessed have I been to be with such thoughtful, mission-focused people. And I often wonder how many can say, as I do, that there are always moments of absolute joy in their daily lives. For me, this most often resides in an interaction with our students, for whom a word of encouragement, a smile, a moment of genuine delight, or of support during a moment of despair can make all the difference. I believe that I touch the future through the lives of our students, and that through their experiences at Westridge, they gain the skills and the belief in their power to lead the change we most need to see. You can actually hear some repetition right here, can't you? It's so much what I believe in. I do believe in them. I believe so much in our students. I cheer them on, and I am awed by their passion and beliefs and possibility. As I contemplate my upcoming retirement, or whatever version of my life it will be, I don't think it'll be complete retirement, it will not be a surprise to know how much I am reflecting on the many chapters of my career. I've been in school since I was 4, and now I get to graduate. But it is this chapter at Westridge that has been the best. It's the one I sought most proactively. As David knows, I reached out to the search consultant and said, I have to interview for this job. As I was contemplating a headship, I thought there was nowhere I'd rather be than Westridge. And I turned to Ian, I know he remembers this, and I said, this is the one. And then he turned to me and said, okay, what do we need to do? That's the support I've had all the way through. I fervently believed in the value of a girls' school. The centennial vision that had guided Westridge prior to my arrival called to me. I relished the student-centered mantra and reality of how Westridge changes girls and girls change Westridge. I was energized by the sense of building community and trust, and I believed that a community that has the well-being of its students as its top priority and a demonstrated and growing commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice is one that creates a sense of belonging that compels us all to be open to learning, to life, to listening, to understanding, and valuing different perspectives. When asked some time ago what I'd like my legacy to be, I knew without a doubt that it had to touch hearts and minds, make a substantive difference in the ways we lead ethical lives, and encourage, even insist, that we seek to understand and impact others and the world in which we live. The Endowment Legacy Fund that was subsequently established in my name is so timely, so representative of what I believe, and will allow Westridge to continue its important transformative work related to diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. And lastly, I'd like to thank you, all of you, for your love and support, for making this endowment possible, for the way that you've supported me, for the difference that you are now making for current and future students and the lives that they will touch. We are creating a legacy together. Thank you.
Liz, I'm going to have to ask you to come back up. Lindsay and James, I'm sorry. So we can't thank you enough. You know, I've said our daughters thanked us when they were in middle school for sending them to Westridge. And we thank you for making Westridge the best it could be.
It's my pleasure. I love what I do.
As a small token of our gratitude, I'd like to present you with this crystal tiger because we are tigers. And it's the year of the tiger. So, Andrea, you can do this 24 years from now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, can I take this out?
Yes, of course. It's yours.
Thank you. Can I say a few words?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. So, our current tiger, which is the sort of stuffed toy tiger version sitting in my office, is now named Charisma, after Charisma, our upper-school student body president, who you met earlier this evening in the video. Tigers are awesome. I think they're such a great mascot. And Melanie, I'm looking at you, Coach Horn, our director of athletics over here. When we look at tigers, we say, tigers are pretty awesome. They are fierce, and our girls can be really fierce, which I love. Don't you love fierce, strong-minded girls? Nothing's better. And we also say, hear us roar. So will you join me in roaring and celebrating Westridge and my time? Thank you so much. Thank you.